Do you use Confluence and wish your pages or blogs could give you something a little bit more? Well, there are things called macros or elements that can help you out. Here, we're going to explore what macros are and how they can help you make better content in Confluence. Welcome to this series that I am calling Wheel of Macros, where at the end of every episode we'll spin a wheel that will pick the next macro we learn about in the next episode. Today, though, I did want to start with just what macros are in general. I want to make sure we all understand the basics about them, where to find them, what they do, and just generally what they are. This is very important because it will help us understand what we're doing later when we dig into macros, and also give us great background knowledge so when we go look for help or talk to other folks, we have some good foundation to start with. Now, at a high level, a macro or an element is just something that it gives us additional functionality on a page or a blog post. Now, it only shows up in a page or a blog, so we won't see the macro menu in databases or whiteboards or elsewhere yet. Macros can do many things, though. They can give us options for layout or formatting. They can do things like add dividing lines, but they can also do things like auto-magically create a table of contents. Or maybe they let us pull content in from different spaces and show it all in one spot. Or they make it easier to organize information by helping us track down labels or searching information more quickly or easily. Macros are just a way to give us more functionality on that page or blog that we don't have otherwise. Now, one important thing to know about macros is Confluence comes with a lot of them out of the box, and this series will focus on Confluence Cloud. I'll do my best to call out any differences I'm aware of, but in general, every version of Confluence Cloud will have all the macros you see. Data Center might be a little bit different depending on the version you're on, so double check. You may also have additional macros in your organization's environment. This is because marketplace apps can add additional macros. So if you see some listed that I don't cover or you don't see me demonstrate, talk to your administrator to see what might have been added to your instance. This can also get frustrating if you change jobs or your company updates something and macros appear or disappear. It's likely because there's some add-on or some additional app running that gives you that additional functionality. So now that we know what macros are at a high level, let's jump into Confluence Cloud Premium and see what they look like. And don't forget to stick around to the end to see us spin the wheel and figure out which macro we'll learn about first. Here I am in Confluence Cloud Premium, and I'm just going to create a brand new page. I'll give it some kind of name. And to add a macro, I can either type in the /, which is the question mark button on my keyboard, and I'll see a big list of different things I can add. I'll get the same list if I click on the Insert Elements option right here at the top. Now, if I click Insert Elements, I can use the search bar to search through the list of all of the macros. Alternatively, if I use that /, I can just start typing in a word and it will narrow down that list to help me find the one I'm looking for. Now, you'll notice each macro has a very brief description. This is a great way to see what it could do, so I'll just click on this to open it up. Now, this particular macro has a bunch of options that show up here on the right, but not every macro has them. Don't worry, further in the series, I'll explore each macro and explain what all of this does. The important thing to keep in mind is some macros will have this additional setup and configuration. If I close it and I click on the macro, I'll get some options right along the bottom. I can edit the macro, bring that panel back. And I can also change how the macro is displayed. I can make it wider, narrower, or even the full width of the page. And then I can copy and delete it. Depending on the macro, things may or may not show up in them automatically. In this case, I have to add headers to my page to make anything happen. And I can see the macro has done something. Again, this is the advantage of macros. They automatically do things for us. There's no limit to the number of macros I could put on a page, so I could add another one. Maybe I add an excerpt. Maybe I add a divider. And as you'll notice, some of these macros will do something like make a table of contents, but others just provide formatting, like adding a line. I always encourage folks, take a minute to just scroll through all the macros that are available. Click View More, and you'll get this big long list that you can search through. And you'll see everything that's available. Again, your exact list may differ based on what your organization has access to, but Confluence Cloud comes with all of these macros straight out of the box. So those are macros. They are things we add to a page or a blog to make them more useful or interesting or give us some extra functionality. They can do things like add extra columns or help us format a page or even copy in information across different spaces. Now, we didn't get too deep into specific macros here, But be on the lookout for new episodes in this series I'm calling Wheel of Macros. Every episode we'll spin a wheel and then see which macro we're going to learn about next. Stick around right after this to see what the first one will be. I've also left a link in the description to Atlassian's official documentation on macros, so you can take a look at that. It is a great reference guide and something you can take a look at just to see what exists. If you like this, please like it, but also drop a comment with your favorite macro or the one you want to learn about most, and I'll be happy to add that to the list. Thank you so much for learning with me. Stick around to see what macro we'll dig into first, and I'll see you here again very soon. All right, folks, here we are with our wheel of macros. I've got all the names loaded in, and let's see what macro we're learning about first. Ooh, awesome. Our next episode, we will learn about the table of contents macros, one of my personal favorites. That's up next. Check out the videos above to see what else can help you out, and I'll see you here again very soon.